Welcome back guys. So there is one question a lot of people often ask me, which frame generation technique is the best among FSR3, AFMF and LSFG. In this video I'll be comparing the performance of these three techniques in Alan Wake Part 2 running on my Rog Ally. I have the Z1 Extreme variant of this device. First I'll give you a brief description of these three technologies. I'll start with FSR3. It includes FSR upscaler and frame generation. The latter relies on optical flow technology and temporal game data such as motion vectors to generate the additional frames. These interpolated frames help in improving the performance. I have tested FSR3 in many games. Yes, this technology definitely works. Since it relies on data supplied by the game, it cannot be implemented on a driver level basis. Just like FSR2, it also relies on game data such as motion vectors, unlike FSR version 1. At launch, FSR3 did not support VRR. I observed a lot of screen tearing and Forspoken. Thank God it supports VRR now. Works very nicely on the display of Rog Ally. FSR3 is an open source technology not limited to AMD GPUs. Works even on Intel and Nvidia GPUs, including frame generation. Yes, you heard it right. I have already tested it on my RTX 2070 Super GPU and boy oh boy, the performance gains were just amazing. At the moment, Alan Wake Part 2 does not support FSR3, so I'll be using LukeFZ's paid FSR3 frame generation mod in order to add FSR3 support to it. All frame generation techniques are recommended to be used with games that are running at least 60 FPS in order to avoid their cons like high latency and graphical artifacts. This is not a hard and fast rule. From my own personal experience, I would say just ensure that your game's base FPS does not drop below 45. Next we have AMD's driver level implementation of frame generation, that is AFMF. These are its requirements. Need to have an RDNA 2 based GPU or anything newer. This includes Radeon RX 6000 and 7000 series GPUs. Even Radeon 700M based APUs are supported like the one in Rog Ally. Ally has Radeon 780M GPU. Now this technique does not rely on any game data like the motion vectors. It uses optical flow technology. AMD recommends using it with games running in borderless mode and VSync disabled. They don't recommend using it with fast-paced games that have quick visual motions which lead to disabling of frame generation on the fly. You will get better results with AFMF in slow-paced games. The best part of AFMF is that it works with all DirectX 11 and 12 titles. You can enable it on the fly, don't even need to exit the game. All of this can be done using AMD's Adrenalin software. Last but not least, we have Lossless scaling application supports frame generation. It's a paid software, a universal frame generator that adds frame generation support to any game. It is developed using machine learning to run on a wide range of GPUs. All GPUs from Nvidia, Intel and AMD are supported. Even integrated graphics cards are supported. For the best experience, developer recommends capping the in-game FPS to half of the max refresh rate of your display. For example, Rog Ally's display supports up to 120Hz. So I'll just cap the in-game FPS to 60. You can still use this technology with a 30 FPS and 60Hz refresh rate combination, but then the graphical artifacts will become more noticeable as compared to the 60 FPS and 120Hz refresh rate combination. First I'll run the vanilla version of the game, not using any form of frame generation. For this game I've set the UMF buffer size to auto on Rog Ally. My Ally is running on BIOS version 336. Using the 30 watts manual profile, all three power values set to 30 watts. Disable RSR 720p resolution. CPU boost disable. Start the game, Epic Games version. Connected my Xbox controller to Ally via Bluetooth mode. Using a custom Afterburner overlay to show you the performance metrics. Radeon anti-lag setting enabled from Adrenalin software. Also enable VSync and FreeSync from Adrenalin. Graphics setting 720p resolution, FSR to enable using its quality preset. In-game VSync disabled. Motion blur and film grain settings disabled as well. Using low to medium settings. Screen space ambient occlusion setting enabled. Ray tracing disabled. That's it. Yeah, this is the sequence. There's Alan Wake. Here we are getting around 50 FPS. 50 to 57 FPS. I'll just explore the area. On foot. So dark. Hearing some weird noises.
Caldera Street station sign was there, but the entrance was missing. I had to make it appear. Maybe I could use the lamp to reveal the station entrance.
variable FPS here. Okay, so the entrance of Caldera station is missing. Light source, I can interact with it.
The lamp was dead in my hand. I needed to find a light for it.
A light source. There's the entrance to Caldera station, but it's blocked. So even without frame generation mode, Ally is running the game in a decent manner. 50 to 60 FPS, not bad. Now I'll run the game with LukeFZ FSR 3 frame generation mode. Still using the same settings. 30 watts manual profile, 720p resolution, Adrenalin settings, RSR disabled, anti-lag setting enabled, VSync enabled, FreeSync enabled as well. Using the same settings as before. 720p resolution, DLSS enabled with frame generation. It's basically FSR 3 upscaler with frame generation. In-game VSync disabled. Just scroll down, low to medium settings. Ray tracing disabled, of course. Start the game, load the same sequence. Yeah, there's Alan Wake. Check out the input response. Here we are getting around 95 FPS.
I had to go there.
And this is insane. Game is running so smoothly. I'll take the map. Need to head to Caldera station. Not observing any graphical artifacts. LukeFZ FSR 3 frame generation mod works very nicely in this game. Highly recommended from my side. I'm just observing the environment.
Sign was there, but the entrance was missing. I had to make it appear.
Entrance is missing.
Maybe I could use the lamp to reveal the station entrance.
Hearing those weird noises.
The lamp was dead in my hand. I needed to find a light for it.
Sprinting around, checking the performance. FPS can be a bit variable, 73 to 100. A light source. General performance is very smooth,
Locked from the other side.
as you can see. When I move the camera quickly, FPS does not drop down. Ammo. Still can't believe that a game like Alan Wake Part 2 runs at around 100 FPS on a handheld. Rog Ally, this is just insane. Look at this performance. Okay, so now I'll be using the next frame generation technique. Now I'll be running the game using lossless scaling frame generation, using its version 2.6.0.6. These are the settings that I am using. True FPS setting enabled. It will show us the true FPS count with LSFG enabled. Capture API DXGI. Settings. Start as administrator setting enabled. Let's run the game. I own the Steam version of LSFG. You can use it with literally any application or game. Anti-lag setting enabled. Again, I'm using the same settings as before. Lost access to DLSS. Quickly scroll down. Start the game. Yeah, there's Alan. Here we are getting around 52 FPS.
The man had said Caldera Street Station. I had to go
Perfect scenario for enabling frame generation. I'll enable LSFG using its hotkey Control Alt and S. It's that simple. There's the FPS counter, displaying the FPS count with LSFG enabled. Okay, we are getting around 90 FPS. Base FPS dropped down to around 47. It seems LSFG comes with an overhead, but I can definitely observe the added amount of smoothness. Oh no, I am also observing some ghosting around the character model when I move the camera around quickly. But I'll be honest, it's not easily noticeable. So minor graphical artifacts with LSFG. To be honest, I don't think it's a big deal. Most people won't be able to notice it. Controls are very responsive. Okay, I'll just explore the area now. Check out the general performance. The fake frames definitely help in improving the performance. Creepy atmosphere here. 80 FPS, 80 to 90 FPS. LukeFZ mod we were getting around 80 to 100 FPS. Good performance with LSFG. It's so easy to use this application. Just need to press one hotkey. This application is not free. You need to purchase it from Steam. Sells for around $7 US. Pick up the ammo. Now I'll be trying out AFMF. Need to enable AFMF from Adrenalin software. In order to access AFMF on your Rog Ally, you need to install the latest stable GPU driver from AMD. I've already uploaded a video showcasing the entire process of installing and uninstalling this GPU driver. We'll drop its video link in the description. AFMF enabled, VSync disabled, FreeSync is still on, and delay setting enabled. That's it. Now we just need to enable AMD's overlay to showcase the true FPS count with AFMF enabled. Afterburner overlay won't be able to show the true count. Click on performance, click on overlay, enable this toggle next to performance overlay. There you go. Start the game. AFMF enabled. Again I am using the same settings. FSR2, quality preset, low to medium settings. You can see the frame generation lag amount, 12 milliseconds here. This is because we are getting a very high FPS in the menu. Just wait for the game to start. Loaded the same sequence and you can see base FPS dropped down to around 45. AFMF comes with a performance overhead just like LSFG. We are getting roughly the same performance. This is the FPS count with AFMF enabled around 100. Frame generation lag amount 36 milliseconds. You can see the input response here. Manageable for a single play offline game, not a competitive shooter. Okay, when I move the camera around quickly, FPS drops down to 60. As you can see, still the game is running smoothly. Not observing any graphical artifacts around the character model. Even when I am looking around like a madman. Sprint. AFMF works nicely with slow-paced games like Alan Wake Part 2. Would not recommend this technology with competitive games. Dynamic frame generation technique.
Was there, but the entrance was missing. I had to make it appear. Maybe I could use the lamp to reveal the station entrance.
So dark. Okay, I observed the sluggishness there. Light source.
Okay, don't mind me, just passing through. Shadows stirred like there was someone there, but there was no one. I wanted to keep it that
And
way.
my character is standing stationary. FPS increases up to 100. As you can see, I'm getting around 90 FPS here. During motion, FPS drops down to around 80. So in terms of performance, LukeFZ's FSR 3 frame generation mod worked the best. I'll give LSFG the second position, AFMF the last position. But LSFG had some minor graphical artifacts, not observing any artifacts with AFMF. Same thing for LukeFZ spot. So that's it with the video guys. I hope you found it useful. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.